So we need to talk about some college football news, whether that be a quarterback that has just hit the transfer portal that's sure to send some waves, or some top tier players making their collegiate decisions. We've got a lot to get into. But before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes, N for no. Are you surprised that Casey Thompson has entered his name into the transfer portal? And let me know what you're thinking. If you are new, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions are massive to content creators such as myself. But with all of that being said, we have got a lot to talk about, and we will start in the transfer portal because Texas quarterback Casey Thompson has entered his name into the transfer portal, and he is sure to be a name that is going to draw a lot of interest. Anytime you have a quarterback that garners starting experience, that's going to be a name that institutions are going to look towards, especially institutions that have talent elsewhere. They're just looking for somebody that has that collegiate experience at the quarterback position. And Casey Thompson has got the upside. He's got the experience, so he's a name that I'm sure will garner plenty of attention in the transfer portal. It's going to be very interesting seeing what happens next, but we can probably attribute this move to the acquisition of Quinn Ewers by the Texas Longhorns. Ewers being a phenomenally highly rated prospect per 24/7 Sports, coming into Texas is sure to shake up the quarterback room, and with that shakeup, we have now had our first quarterback enter the transfer portal in Casey Thompson. Not to say any more will, but it was a result that I think some people could have probably assumed would happen. When you look, Hudson Card being there, Casey Thompson being there, now Quinn Ewers coming in, and still the talented signee Malik Murphy being in the fold. There's a lot of talented names there, and one of them has ultimately entered the transfer portal. So I'm very interested. Let me know where y'all think we could see Casey Thompson playing his collegiate football next. It's going to be a storyline we have to keep up with. But also, keeping up with other storylines in college football, we need to shift our attention to early National Signing Day because two more phenomenally talented prospects have made their decisions, and we need to talk about these two in particular. First and foremost, the thing I think we need to talk about is Damani Jackson to USC, and this is a huge win for the Trojans. This is a massive win for Lincoln Riley, somebody who desperately needs the win when you look at the ranking of USC's recruiting class, though it's going to be very hard for Lincoln Riley to turn around a recruiting class with such a short time frame. Getting in an individual such as Damani Jackson is ultimately a great way to start. Damani Jackson was someone who was between USC and Alabama. Alabama fans were really hoping they would be able to get him in this class. However, the loss of Jackson is softened because Elias Rix coming in from the transfer portal. That's something that's absolutely going to help Alabama's fans sleep easy at night. And not only the acquisition of Elias Rix through the transfer portal, but also Kendrick Law committing to the Crimson Tide. Now, Kendrick Law is the athlete out of Louisiana, and he has got the ability to play both offense and defense, so he is an incredibly exciting prospect, a name that Tide fans need to remember, and somebody that Nick Saban himself was very high on. And whenever you have an individual that Nick Saban is really high on, it's certainly a name to keep in mind. Kendrick Law coming into the Crimson Tide is a very, very welcomed addition to this class, especially on a day where Jaleel Skinner flips from Alabama to Miami. Damani Jackson ultimately chooses USC, though not a super surprise. Still an individual Alabama fans wanted to get into the class. At least they can hang their hats on Elias Rix coming in yesterday through the transfer portal. We talked about how anytime you can get in a former 5-star from the transfer portal, you love that. You love it even more when that 5-star rating translated immediately from high school to college. Rix is one of the premier cornerbacks in all of college football, and so he is going to be massive for the Crimson Tide. But then aside from Rix, you get in Kendrick Law, something that Tide fans have got to be phenomenally excited about. But what a day of college football recruiting and college football news. A major quarterback entering the transfer portal, which I'm really interested in hearing from y'all where you think he will go. And then I'm also interested, were you surprised at the decision of Damani Jackson and Kendrick Law? Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.